to present Black college football. Folks, the hype has been staggering. Earlier today, head coach Joe Taylor led the #1 team in Black college football, the Hampton Pirates, into the RCA Dome for one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. Black Entertainment Sports presents Black College Football today. Live from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, it's the 16th annual Circle City Classic. Today's game features the Hampton Pirates of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference and the Southern Jaguars of the Southwestern Athletic Association. Hello, everybody. I'm George Johnson. Whoever put together this matchup here, the Circle City Classic, is walking around saying, hey, listen, I must be a genius. After all, I brought in the #1 and #3 ranked team in Black college football, the #8 and #9 ranked team in Division I AA, and the champions from their respective conferences the past 2 years. Hampton and Southern coming in with a lot of credibility. Then again, so does my broadcast partner, Charles Mann, the former All-Pro defensive end of the Washington Redskins. Two great teams, both undefeated, both with a lot to gain, but then again, a lot to lose in this one.
Absolutely, and I would say if I was touting this one, who has the better conference, the SWAC or the MEAC? And the winner of this game will have the early lead on this year's Black national title.
The Hampton Pirates come in, they are 4-0, a very mature club. They get a lot of that maturity from their quarterback, Roy Johnson.
Roy Johnson has been a 4-year starter, and under his leadership, they've won 28 games, only lost 4. This year, and also 2 MEAC titles back-to-back, and this year, he's completed 43% of his passes, or 43 of his passes for 712 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions.
It's not too bad to have a pretty good quarterback on the offensive side. Doesn't hurt to have a good quarterback on the defensive side. They have him in Deion Hunt.
Deion Hunt is a stud. He's led this team in tackles for the last 2 seasons, and this year he's off to an early start. He has 40 tackles. That's 10 a game, and he leads his team by 19 tackles. He also has aspirations of one day being in the NFL.
But today, he'll worry about trying to stop Southern, a club that is also 4-0, but they lost 23 seniors from last year, so they've been trying to fill some holes. One guy, though, that's getting it done is their running back, Ryan Lewis.
Ryan Lewis is only 5'7", 163 pounds. They call him the scat back. He's averaged 112 yards rushing per game. Look to Southern to go to him early and often to open up the passing game.
Now, while Deion Hunt mans the middle for Hampton, Southern has a pretty good middle linebacker of their own in Channing Warner.
Channing Warner is a smart guy, and he is the quarterback of this defense. He's 6'1", 230 pounds, and boy, can he get to the football. Every time there's a big play on the field, he'll be right in the middle of it.
So we've got Southern and Hampton getting ready to go at it. We'll be bringing you the play-by-play from up here in the booth. But down on the field will be our own Joe Claire. Down to you, Joe.
Thanks a lot, George. Thanks, Charles. Listen, I will be down here on the field giving you all the insides of the game. I get to talk to the Coca-Cola person. I get to talk to the bands, the mascots, the people who came to check it out, the players, the coaches, everybody. It's going to be off the hook. So back to you, George. Back to you, George. I'm going to be down here chilling.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe. And I got a feeling, yes, you will be chilling. It's the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic, the 16th annual classic up here in Indianapolis, and it features an unbelievable game. It'll be Hampton and Southern next here on BET. College Football Classic is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low you have the freedom to go places. And by Circuit City, America's #1 home electronics and appliance superstore, where you'll find answers in every department, low prices all over the store. And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. Here we are at the RCA Dome, where they've already completed one play, and what a big play it was. A 57-yard hookup from head coach, from quarterback Roy Johnson to Montrell Coley. As you see, the series between these two teams, just 1 game old. Southern won back in 1995, 45-22. George Johnson, along with Charles Mann. So here they go, second play of this drive after a 57-yard game. They kicked off and the ball went out of bounds. I'm talking about Bushart of Southern, and that gave Hampton pretty good field position. Wyman in motion. They give it to the fullback, Mike Jones, and Mike Jones is immediately racked up inside. Let's take a look now at your Western Union starting lineup. Today's starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. Roy Johnson is your starting quarterback. Montrell Coley, he averages 7 yards a carry and just finished catching a 57-yard catch that took the ball inside the 10-yard line. Your offensive line spearheaded by Mitchell Foreman, the all MEAC selection. And there's Roy Johnson, the redshirt senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Second down and goal. Ball is at the 8-yard line. This time they give it to Coley. Coley works his way inside the 5-yard line, down close to the 2. Defensive side of the ball. And the Jaguars, the #1 defense in all the SWAC. Daniel Bell is your defensive end from New Orleans, Louisiana, 7 tackles for a loss. Channing Warner in the middle, unbelievable year already. He was a preseason all-SWAC selection. And a pretty good defensive secondary. Sean Overton has been solid, as has Adrice Brown. Today's starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. Single setback now for Roy Johnson, who says, hey, listen, I want a timeout. I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. We brought the ball inside the 10, and we got it done, and now we want to make sure that we capitalize off it. We go to commercial break. When we come back, believe me, Charles Mann's with me. Trust me. The RCA Dome, George Johnson along with Charles Mann. They've played almost 2 minutes here in the first quarter, and already Hampton knocking at the door on 3rd down and 1, and I don't think he made it. Actually, it was a 3rd down and 2 situation for the Pirates to score a touchdown, and they may have picked up a yard, but in there, Antonio Mays to make the stop.
You know, Hampton just goes right at you. There's nothing funny. There's no trick plays or anything. If you're going to stop them, you got to stop them with sound playing.
Head coach Joe Taylor of Hampton in his 8th year with this club, and looking now at A.C. Wyatt, the senior place kicker from Ashland, Virginia, who's looking to connect on his 2nd field goal of the season. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So A.C. Wyatt now is 2 for 3 on the year with field goal attempts. Kicks that one in from 18 yards out. And Hampton strikes blood first with a 3-0 lead, with 12:21 left here in the first quarter. And welcome back to the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic here on BET. They call it the showdown, and the numbers almost equal up and down, Charles.
Yeah, they're pretty good there. What I like most is points allowed per game, 11.8 for the Hampton Pirates and 8.8 for Southern. And the big disparaging stat is the rushing game.
So now Southern will try to answer on their own. On the return right here, and the man who it looks like was bringing it back on the return, Kerry Bowie, who averages 45 yards of return coming in, takes this one out to the 30-yard line. Will it be 1st and 10 for Southern?
You know, after talking to both of these coaches,
there's your officials real quick. Williams, Feely, Harris, Nimmons, Dollar, Robinson, and Wallace. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Charles.
That's okay. After talking to both of these coaches yesterday, you get the sense that special teams is a big part of their game.
And so is offense! Oh, and Troy Williams went back to pass. Had a receiver wide open in Haywood Gallion, and he could not make the catch. Great throw by the sophomore.
He's been Haywood has been a go-to guy. He's got 8 catches, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he's been the backup on the receiving corps.
Well, they like to spread things out. They've got 4 receivers here on 2nd down and 10 from the 30. Williams, this time, trying the inside handoff to his tailback.
Big Monty Foot got him.
Lewis with the carry, Foot with the tackle. And Foot, of course, one of those 2 players from Hampton who lost to Southern a few years back. Our starting lineups, you'll see now Travion Jobert, the wide receiver, is the guy that they rave about here in the SWAC. Says unlimited potential, and he's just a freshman. 3rd down now and 11. Williams going to roll out to his left. Finds Gallion, and he'll pick up maybe 2 yards at best, but not nearly enough for a first down. So that'll be a situation in which the Jaguars will have to punt. There's the rest of your Western Union starting lineup. Nivens, Brown, Thompson. Keep your eyes on the offensive line. Back deep to receive the punt. It's Travis Coleman for Hampton. And Bushart will punt the football. Thomas, who is averaging 39 yards a punt, was the SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. And he can flat out kick the football. This one takes a southern bounce inside about the 15-yard line. Will it be 1st and 10 for Hampton? 3-0. The Pirates lead. We'll have more right after this. Line, Circle City Classic. Hampton with a 3-0 lead and immediately working their way downfield on the ground. At least they'll try with Montrell Coley. Coley takes the handoff. He's the leading rusher on this football team, who last year rushed for over 1,000 yards, 1,024 to be exact, and 11 touchdowns. Has 4 touchdowns this year. Coley picked up 2 yards on the carry. So it'll make it 2nd down and 11. I formation behind Johnson. This time he'll fake and roll out on his right. Pump. And there's an example of the maturity we talked about. Never seemed to be in a hurry. Made that throw at the last possible second and should have completed it.
Yeah, Mike Jones definitely had the ball in his hands and should have made the play. Good decision there by Roy Johnson of rolling out, holding onto the ball, looking downfield, nothing there, throwing it out to his outlet receiver.
And really not panicking. I guess that's what comes with after being here for a long time. A lot of guys would have tucked it in, tried to make some yards. He's still looking downfield.
That was good vision by him. Very good vision. I think Mike Jones tried to take off before he caught the ball.
3rd down and 8. Oh, blitzing linebacker can't get hold of Johnson. Still got the football, and he's finally dragged down by the big defensive tackle right there.
Rashawn Matthews. Big Rashawn Matthews made the play. You know, as you watch this play, watch the defensive pursuit. The first guy misses. Anton Carter misses. Everyone else is still running down the football right there. Great hustle. Great hustle.
Tellis Bolden will kick the football off. Tyshawn Evans is waiting for the punt. Fields it at the 49-yard line. Makes a couple of moves and a pretty good defensive play right there. Great special teams by the Pirates as they get down and make the play. And that was Lawrence Smith on the tackle. Still 3-0 Hampton. More after this.
Coming up.
RCA Dome, where Joe Taylor's club leads by 3. Joe Taylor, of course, has led the Pirates to 2 straight MEAC championships.
Look at the numbers there in 8 seasons, 66, 18, and 1. This guy knows how to win.
Guided the club to 3 straight CIAA titles before they made the move to the MEAC. And there's Pete Richardson in his 7th season, 12th as a head coach. Southern's 12th head coach in the history, and he's won 80% of his games while with the Jaguars, 60 and 15.
That's pretty impressive as well.
So it's 1st and 10 for a Southern club. Williams and Lewis in the backfield as they go shotgun. They fake the inside handoff, and it was a good fake by Williams. All he has to do is beat one player, and he'll pick up about 5 yards on the play, maybe 6.
And that was a designed play to either run or pass. Williams has 110 yards rushing on the year, so he had an option there to do either.
They're going to say he picked up 5 yards on the play. Goes back in the shotgun on 2nd and 5. Finds his receiver very quickly, who makes the catch. was completed to Jobert, and that'll be good enough for a first down. Meanwhile, Hampton's defense, brought to you by Western Union, Greg Scott, Michael Bland, both very solid. Monty Foote recovering from an injury, he's back. Dion Hunt, the leading tackler on this football team. Secondary's not very big. Rashad Mouye can quite frankly also get it done. 1st and 10 for Williams, rolling again to his left. Tough throw to make, so he holds on to it and gains a couple.
You know, it's interesting that right now we're seeing Williams rolling to his left and then trying to throw back to the right. You would think that they would have a scheme where he would roll the opposite way. Much easier throw.
And they're going no huddle. So they're shuffling people in and out. And now they've got 5 receivers. As Williams goes back to pass on 2nd and 8, looking downfield, but can't hook up with his intended receiver, Gallion.
Now that's a high percentage pass right there. You throw that fade pass. You throw it over the opposite shoulder, the shoulder towards the outside, where if your receiver can't catch it, nobody gets the ball.
Haywood Gallion, his intended receiver, who's caught 8 balls this year. 3rd down and 8. Williams being pressured. Gets it off to his receiver, who couldn't quite come up with the catch. Pass was intended for Devin Lewis.
You know, the problem with going with five receivers, you don't have enough guys to block for the quarterback. So, you know, you give up something to get something. In that situation, you got to throw a quicker pass.
And there's Alonzo Lee, the defensive coordinator at Hampton, who they say once he came to this program, they instantly became a lot better.
A lot stronger also. That's what he brought to this team, is an idea of you got to be strong. You got to build your body up if you want to be the best.
Bussart back to punt again, standing near midfield. Coleman is a back, standing at his 10 to receive the punt. Matt Bussart, who last year averaged over 40 yards per punt. And he was 1st team All-SWAC as a freshman, 1st team All-SWAC as a junior. I said, what happened your sophomore year? He says, well, I was hurt. Can't expect me to do it every year.
The kid is 6'4", 258 pounds. That's on a light day.
They say he can definitely change the flow of a football game just by dropping punts inside the 20. This one, nice tight spiral, but it's going to bounce in the end zone. He would have done well to maybe angle that one off and try to keep Hampton pinned in deep in their own territory.
You can't feel good about that one. That was supposed to be a pooch punt. Supposed to get that inside the 20-yard line. You don't go for the big average by kicking it in the end zone. You go for the low pooch.
While at Hampton, Joe Taylor 0-1, but boy, he knows Pete Richardson pretty well from their CIAA days. Pete, of course, was at Winston-Salem State and led the club to back-to-back titles until Joe's club would knock them out in 1992. Inside handoff goes for no yards on that one. Derek McElwain with the carry. They talk a lot about the fact that they both teams like to substitute a lot.
Right.
They might like Montrell Coley and start watching him, and next thing you know, McElwain will pop in there. Same with Southern, even more so than Hampton. They're always substituting players. There you see the Pirates. Defensively, they've been very good.
That's a lot of firsts and everything.
2nd down and 10. Johnson checking off.
They're going with 4 wides.
This time he hands it off inside to Karima Mayer, his fullback. And the Jaguars were waiting for that one. Host of guys, Mays in there on the tackle, as was Channing Warren. So that'll make it 3rd down and 10. Passing situation for Roy Johnson.
I like the fact that Roy Johnson has the leadership of this team. He gets up there, he sees something he doesn't like, he has the option to call an audible, and he doesn't have to worry about Joe Taylor on the sidelines getting upset with him.
Warren Broughton is your receiver. Split close to us. McElwain kind of goes in motion. Oh, the Jaguars coming with the blitz.
Guess who made the play? Channing Warner.
Number 54 leading the charge defensively for this club.
Has a second sack on the season. Actually, that makes him have 2.5 sacks. Those halves are important.
Because halves add up to holes eventually, huh?
Watch right there. He came right up the middle. Right up the middle, unblocked. I don't know if there was a problem with the line charge. They didn't call it right, but he just comes right up the middle.
That's his 3rd sack of the season, forcing the Pirates to punt the football. And Lewis with the return. And that was an 18-yard return for the Southern Jaguars as they take it 1st and 10, and they are in Hampton territory with 5:57 left here in the 1st quarter.
It's kind of a defensive struggle right now. I didn't expect this, other than the big play early in the game. Actually, the first play of the game, we basically have seen the defenses do pretty well.
Southern undefeated in conference play the past 2.5 years, you might want to say. And Williams comes out throwing the football and finds Jobert with the catch and a pickup of about 5 yards.
He had Curtis Blackwell, number 24, coming up the middle, putting early pressure on Williams.
Blackwell, the linebacker. 2nd down and 5. Again, more blitzing by the Pirates, and again they pick it up. This time it's completed to Gallion. Gallion is finally wrestled down by Travis Coleman, but not until he picks up good yardage inside the 15-yard line.
Every time you send a lot of players, you have the chance, because you have one-on-one coverage in the secondary. Right here, Williams does a great job of picking up the blitz, seeing the blitz come, and dumping it off to his open receiver.
26-yard pickup for Gallion. I formation on 1st and 10. Ball's at the 14. Here's Lewis. Ryan tries to make a move inside.
That was Ryan Lewis's first run of the day. We have 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. I mean, in the first half, or first quarter, if you will, and he's just getting the ball.
Corey Kaysen made the tackle. Lewis picked up a yard. Lewis coming off a 177-yard effort last week against Alabama State. That 177 yards on the ground, obviously. 2nd down and 9. And all of a sudden the blitz, and this one is intercepted
by Monty Foote.
And Foote makes the catch, still on his feet, and finally dragged down at about the 22-yard line.
And you know who caused that? Curtis Blackwell caused that play with the quick pressure on Troy Williams. And Troy did the bad thing there is he's throwing the ball. He turned away. He was bracing instead of following through. He just throws the ball and ducks.
But Blackwell, what a great job.
Look at this, right up the middle, nobody blocking him.
And how about the athleticism of the defensive end to be able to turn around and make that catch?
That was very nice. Nice little hurdle, too. Hurdled one tackler.
So the Pirates dodge that bullet. 1st and 10, ball at the 23-yard line. Johnson with time finds his receiver over the middle, and it is complete to the tight end, Adrian Weidman.
You know, Adrian Weidman is a multi-talented tight end. You know, he leads this team. This team has a choir. They have an 18-man choir, and Adrian plays the piano as well as is their lead singer. I'm very impressed.
And he's leading the way for this offense at the moment, as they now have 2nd down and less than 1 for a 1st. They give it inside to the fullback. Great move by Jones. Boy, Mike Jones not only has a lot of bulk on him and can run you over, but nice little nifty move. Let's go down to the field with Joe Claire.
Yeah, I'm standing here with the Queen and the Princesses. This is the Queen and the Princesses of the Miss Coca-Cola Circle City Classic 1999. What's your name?
Jennifer Johnson.
What's your name?
Candace Ewing. Monica Smith.
And this is just an example of the beauty and pageantry that I'm experiencing down here on the field at the Circle City Classic. And the game is wonderful. Back to you, George and Charles.
How can I not feel it?
Is he looking at the game? I don't think so.
First and 10 situation for Roy Johnson, and he threw the ball away. Actually was pressured into throwing that ball away. His intended receiver on that one was Michael Compton.
Both coaching staffs are really going after the other teams early, taking some early chances with some blitzing. And, you know, when you do that, there's always a chance something bad happening.
Lone setback behind Johnson on 2nd down and 10. Coley is tailbacks in the slot. Johnson, good protection, and finds Coley, who can't make the catch. Montrell had nothing but daylight in front of him.
Boy, he'd like to have that back. I think he knew he had nothing but daylight in front of him, and that's why he's trying to catch it real quick and take off. Watch this right here. Roy Johnson has all day to throw the football. Looks over the field real well. Throws it to his outlet receiver, Montrell Coley, who tried to run before he had the football completely in his hands.
This year, Coley's the 3rd leading receiver on the club. Last year, he finished 3rd in receiving. So, multi-talented player who can run the football and catch it as well. Pressure on Johnson, and Johnson just gets rid of it and had a couple of guys in the vicinity, but we still see a flag lying at about the 35-yard line. And we have a player who
I don't know if they're going to call that intentional grounding, but I thought it was a smart play by Roy Johnson, getting rid of the football. You don't want to take a sack here. You want to get rid of that football. Now, there's a question of whether, now he had all day to throw the football. He rolls out and avoids the sack by throwing the football away.
And you can see Antoine Carter when he kind of steps awkwardly on his foot right there.
Oh.
And it seemed like the knee may have buckled.
Yeah.
And now he's lying on the field, and he's in deep pain right now.
That's the thing about this AstroTurf. Now, both of these teams play most of their games on natural grass, and so they don't have to deal with this turf that much.
Well, we talked to the coaches yesterday, and both of them seem to say that they really don't mind playing on this, but then again, they're not the guys that are running up and down.
Thank you. I was going to say that. Yeah, you know, hey, I wouldn't mind it. In fact, I love the indoor atmosphere. You know, the weather's comfortable. You know, you don't have to worry about bringing a jacket to the game as it gets later in the season. You know, it's a fast track. That's what Coach Richardson told us for Southern. It's a fast track, and his guys like it. But this is what they don't like. Antoine Carr is not enjoying this right now.
Hardest working man in this place is Joe Claire, as he continues to bring us the pageantry. Joe?
Well, I'm down here now. You know, the game, the Circle City Classic, brings out the best in the celebrities. And I'm chilling here with the current hottest brother singing, Mr. Donnell Jones. What's up, dog?
What's up, man?
How you feeling?
Chilling, loving the game.
Now, you got to sing the anthem.
The national anthem.
Now, was you scared you was going to mess up?
Nah, man, because, I mean, you know, I'm a singer at heart. I think about singing first.
But, you know, a lot of times brothers don't be remembering the words.
Well, you know, you get that first initial butterfly, you know, but other than that, when you start that first note, it's on and popping.
All right. We down here enjoying the game, man. We're kicking back to y'all, man.
Yeah, sometimes I get caught humming it too at certain punt situation for Hampton after losing big yardage on that one. Southern on the return. Lewis. That was actually Tyshawn Evans with the return on the punt. Punt was 38 yards. He returned it back about 5. So it'll make it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for Southern.
think the special teams coach was getting on Mr. Evans for not taking the ball and running it north and south immediately. He kind of dilly-dallied with the football for a minute there and could have made a big play out of that.
Southern's offense averaging 28 points per game, but have yet to put any points on the board here in the first quarter. 2:20 left here in the first. Williams. Oh, great little block right there to free him up, and yet Williams still lost a couple of yards. But Gallion, your wide receiver, coming up and make the crunching blow.
Let me say this about this play as we see it right here. This is the kind of thing that you have to keep your head on a swivel as you're running. You see that? Oh, my God. Took out Monty Foot.
Getting him back for that interception. But again, Williams barely got back to the line of scrimmage. He probably lost nearly a yard on that play. So it'll make it 2nd down and 11.
In my 12-year career, I probably had 3 of those hits that I was able to put on people when I played a little bit of special teams. It's a great feeling to feel as the wind exits another player as you're hitting them.
You can actually feel that well exiting.
There's kind of a blowing sensation that comes.
So that's what's knocking the wind out of me.
Oh, taking it out. Taking it out. But
packing it up, taking it home.
The problem is, in those 12 years, I had that done to me about twice as well. You know what I always did, though? I got up.
Was it a blind shot? We have to get up. You can't let them think that you're hurt, right?
I got up. It hurt me so bad, but I got up because my pride was hurt the most. You know?
Does it hurt more when he hits you or when you hear the whole crowd go, woo?
Well, right now, and we applaud Monty getting up. You know, he's going to be ribbed by his teammates because I know he's okay. He just got the wind knocked out of him. You know, you feel bad as, you know, national TV. Everybody saw it, you know. And then it was a little guy that did it.
He'll be back on the field.
Here's one more look at it. Look at Monty right there, and then, oh, you know, he might have some sore ribs after tonight as well. Gallion is just 6 foot, 180 pounds, so I don't know what kind of a wallop he was bringing.
2nd down. Let's say 11 yards. Single setback is Ryan Lewis, and we've got whistles.
Took too much time.
Now, how can you sit there and wait for a guy to get up off the turf, carry himself off to the side, and then
delay of game,
take too long to call the
offense?
That's a sophomore quarterback leading your team.
2nd down.
You know, Troy Williams is a very solid quarterback, but those are the kind of little mistakes that as a coach just gets into your crawl.
2nd down, 3 receivers split to the right for Williams. Williams looking back over the middle and completes the pass.
Devin Lewis with a quick slant.
Takes the ball near the original line of scrimmage. It'll actually be now 3rd down and 9.
Now this just a little, I mean, if you want to get your offense going, these are the kinds of plays that will get them going. A little quick, little 5-yard slant. You get the inside position on the defensive back. It's an easy play to make.
Williams now rolling to his right, looking for his receiver, overthrows Jobert. He had him wide open, just a little too high for the freshman to make the catch.
And Altravion Jobert was not going to even extend to try to get that one. He said,
I've been watching too many guys laying on the carpet already today.
That's right. I'm not going up for it. I'm sorry.
Bussart will go back to punt the football. And back to receive it again will be Travis Coleman. Coleman has yet to really establish himself as a punt returner on the season, averaging just 3 yards per return. He'll get a chance to bring this one back and gets a good block, 1 or 2. Makes the move. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. One guy to beat is Bussart. He moves inside and takes it inside the 25-yard line. But folks, we got a flag sitting all the way back at the 30-yard line. I got a feeling they're going to be bringing this one back.
And did you see that hit? There's another big hit right here that really sprung Travis Coleman on this return.
44-yard punt.
And watch here as Travis Coleman waits and sets this up right there. What a nice lick. That's what we call those, George. Nice lick. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I get you. 60-yard return for Coleman and goes for naught as they'll bring that football back, and they're going to step this one off and bring it back to the 25-yard line.
On the return, we have a push in the back. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And they bring it back. They take it from where the penalty occurred and then bring it back 10 yards. And so the ball is spotted at the 25-yard line for Joe Taylor's Pirates, who lead 3-0 with just under a minute and a half left here in the first quarter.
So many games are won by special teams plays.
So Southern trails Hampton. They're on the defensive end, and we'll have more after this. George Johnson, Charles Mann back here for the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic. And you look at our penalty situation in Hampton. That last one really hurt because they really had good field position after the return by Coleman. So here we are, 1st and 10 for the Pirates. Ball's at the 25-yard line. Single set back for Roy Johnson. And on the first play, he goes back, tries to connect with his receiver Compton, and that ball was too high.
You hate when that happens, and Roy is kind of kicking himself there a little bit. Perfect setup, you drop back, and the ball just gets away from you a little bit. It's like my golf swing sometimes. You know, I get over the ball, you know.
You know your golf swing never gets away from you. Scratch golf. For all those people out there, Charles says, hey, listen, let's play some golf. I'm not that good. Don't believe me. 2nd down and 10. Coley in motion. Johnson on the out pattern. This time it was on the mark, and Compton just couldn't make the catch.
I tell you what, there could have been a holding call on Mitchell Foreman right there. Mitchell Foreman's going head-to-head with Gillis Wilson, the defensive end, right defensive end, and he just pulls the guy down. And right there, we got another dropped ball by a receiver.
Well, Gillis Wilson, 6'2", 282 pounds. He's a senior, a lot of maturity, but he's working against Mitchell Foreman, who's an all-MEAC selection.
Well,
that's on the left side of that offensive line.
He just beat Mitchell. He just beat Mitchell like he stole something, but Mitchell was smart enough to grab him and pull him down.
3rd and 10. Johnson out. Fakes one way, and it's intercepted.
No, he didn't hold it. He didn't hold the ball.
It looked as if the ball was picked off by Shannon Smith and then dropped.
I mean, you know, Shannon Smith was a defensive player, okay? They're not used to handling the football. Shannon Smith got the ball stripped by Montrell Coley.
Did it seem like Roy was just it's a little too lackadaisical?
Yeah, watch it right here. He's trying to set it up. It seemed like he might have been a little lackadaisical.
The pressure was coming.
Yeah.
But boy,
I mean, that was a great play by Shannon Smith, but he doesn't hold on to the football.
So Bolden will punt the football. Tellis averaging 34 yards a punt.
Defenses are playing extremely well.
And Tyshawn with the return, and he brings it up near the 40-yard line. That punt was good for 44 yards.
Southern and Hampton's defenses both are doing the job today. 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions today for the offenses. 0 for 5.
Tyshawn Evans brings the ball back to the 39-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Southern, who's still trailing this football game 3-0. Both teams coming into this one 4-0.
I can't wait to see the bands. I'm sorry. I just taking a shot at the bands there. I'm like, can't wait to hear them.
Should be a lot of fun. Again in the shotgun. Again, they call that play where they fake it inside to Lewis. Williams keeps it. And again, he picks up close to 5 yards.
And you know why he picked up so many yards there? Monty Foote had his head on a swivel this time, and he's watching to make sure no one was coming like number 11, Gallion, to take him out. And so Troy Williams was able to get around the corner there.
Well, seniors aren't supposed to be thinking that way now. Come on, they're supposed to, or anyone feels that.
Fool me once, don't fool me twice, okay? I'm not going to get KO'd twice.
And we may have another casualty.
Yeah, we got Damian Thompson on the ground there. Looks like they're messing with his knee.
Damian Thompson, who is a junior, the center. One of those many two-tier veterans on the offensive line they talk about here at Southern. And when I mean two-tier, they have two-tier. They're playing guys constantly. And Pete Richardson says, hey, listen, if I play guys that way, I never have anybody inexperienced the next year.
You know, that's a good way to look at it. The other way to look at it is you're playing so many people that maybe sometimes you're going to have more mistakes than you would if you just played the same group of guys. So I can see it both ways. It's a good sign, the fact that he's walking off pretty much on his own.
But still very gingerly.
Very gingerly.
Second down and 4.
But in a situation like this where now his backup has to come in, Quentin Briscoe, Quentin's been out there. You know, he's played a lot, so it's not going to be a big deal.
That's the two-tier thing, and all of a sudden, the Pirates come flying across the line of scrimmage. And we'll have to see if they were pulled off or not.
Brandon Small jumped a little early there, number 76 for the Southern offense.
Dead ball, false stop on the offense. 5-yard penalty. To remain second down.
We talked about all the categories that Hampton was #1 in. Look at the categories that Southern leads the SWAC.
Wow, wow. That's winning football right there. That's why you win. 4th down conversions, kickoff returns, and pass efficiency. We haven't seen too much of that today, though.
That pass is complete for Southern. Kentrell Plain makes the catch, but he was down on one knee when he made it. Once you go down,
that's it.
That's it. But he still picked up about 5 yards on the play. Makes it 3rd down and 5. Kentrell Plain, who really has been getting some time with this club and has responded with some key catches for Southern. Shotgun, Williams finds his receiver Lewis. And Lewis was looking for daylight. If he'd been able to stay on his feet, would have picked up some more yardage, but still looks like they got enough for a 1st down.
Devin Lewis is 6'4", 184 pounds.
And for Lewis, that's his 9th reception on the year. We'll have more from the Circle City after this.
Your family.
Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic. And this portion of today's game is brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? Now time for our nationwide quarterly stats brought to you by Nationwide. That was a 1st down situation, incomplete for Williams. Now let's take a look at our quarterly stats brought to you by Nationwide. Insurance and financial services on your side. And near your passing yards, just about the same. We talked about the fact that these two teams sort of mirror each other.
Right.
So we shouldn't be surprised if the stats look a lot alike, except time of possession.
And that's the difference, the 3-point difference that we have in the game.
So on 2nd down and 10, Williams is going to roll out to the right. Good defensive pressure. He dumps it off, finds his receiver, Jobert. And Jobert will pick up some good yardage before being tackled
By Nathan Brown. That was a nice tackle by Nathan Brown. He came up and, you know, just delivered the blow. Instead of being passive, he went after Jobert and put him down. Once again, Hampton brought Travis Coleman, the strong safety, on a little blitz.
6-yard pickup for Jobert. It'll make it 3rd down and 4. Over the middle. Pass complete to Gallion. And Gallion will pick up the 1st down before being tackled by Coleman.
Gallion's being pretty active here today. We've called his name a bunch.
Not only catching the football, but delivering some blocks.
There you go. There you go.
Nice pass. Right now, Coach Richardson is sticking to the little short dump passes. They're effective and get you down the field.
Let's see if the Pirates make the adjustments. This time, they try the quick pass.
I don't like that pass.
You don't like that pass to Michael Hayes?
No. I mean, it's almost like a wide receiver screen. You know, the receiver hints like he's going across the line of scrimmage and takes a step backwards, catches the ball, and then you go. Only time you throw that call or have that call is when you have the defensive back playing off you. And in that case, it wasn't that way. Yeah, back in the day.
Kenny Stabler, you were going to say, huh?
Back in the day, Kenny Stabler, a little lefty.
Well, Jobert made another catch, and that was a little better play. Throwing the ball downfield. And Jobert's been finding some open spots in this defense. He and Gallion doing a good job of getting some room. And Lewis has also made a catch or two that really has contributed to Southern's offense.
You know, we just took a shot there of the middle linebacker Dion Hunt walking past. They haven't called his name today. He's got 40 tackles in 4 games, so I don't know what they're doing. They haven't run the football very much, as a matter of fact, either team.
Well, they're probably staying away from him. We've got a penalty charged to the Pirates.
There's a picture of Pete Richardson. He's done a masterful job with this young Southern team. There's his adversary. Yes, that's the exact word I was trying to come up with. Joe Taylor. He's done a fantastic job at Hampton. Really created a lot of excitement there around the Norfolk area, where you're from.
Absolutely. I get a chance to see him all the time. And they've won 2 straight MEAC titles. But on this last play, they committed a roughing the passer penalty. And so now Southern gets the football at the 20. 1st and 10. And Jobert juggles the football, makes the catch. Goes to another first down. They'll probably be a couple yards short.
I like what I'm seeing here. This is the kind of game plan that you have to have for a young quarterback like Troy Williams. You see his numbers there. You don't want to make him have to hold onto the ball and make any tough decisions. What you want to do is you want to give him the little short stuff that he can just react to, throw the ball down the field.
5 straight completions, so what do? They go inside to the fullback.
And run the football.
Lee Smith looks like with the carry there. And Lee is actually 2nd on the depth chart. But when you look at the carries, he carries the ball a lot more than the starter, Calvin Mills. And they were trying that no-huddle offense and whistles blowing all over the place. So this one's not going to count. They thought they got the touchdown.
And nobody was set. You can't go that fast. You have to at least, your line has to be set for at least a count. And in that case, I don't think the referees were ready.
So it's 1st and goal, and now we have a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. Southern threatening as they trail by 3. Back to the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic, the 16th annual Circle City Classic, where so many ideas have been born in this area. You a basketball fan?
Yes, I am a big basketball fan, yes.
Have a lot of celebrities in the building.
Yes.
Who not only play football, but basketball folks, singers.
Coach basketball. You know, Troy Williams' numbers are pretty impressive. He's 18 for 12. 18 attempts, 12 completions, 83 yards. 1 interception.
What's interesting there is that he's thrown the ball 18 times already.
Right.
We still have 13-12 left here in the first half.
Well, coming into this game, he threw the ball 106 times. 53 of them were completed.
And Southern gives the ball inside to the fullback again. And he takes the ball close to the 2-yard line. Boy, things are happening so quickly out there. You wonder how any of the teams know what they're doing. They've got guys running in and out during the signal call.
There we had Damon Dawson, number 90, missing a tackle. Could have been a nice stop for no gain. Instead, the big fullback gets 3 yards.
And this time they give it inside to the fullback. Touchdown. That one run by Lee Smith. So Lee Smith picks up the touchdown, the junior from New Orleans, and Southern takes the lead 6-3. Got the coaches in the booth right next to us, and they're sitting there winking at us from Southern. Said we knew we were going to crack that end zone sooner or later, and they crack it first.
Here's the replay. That's just good, hard, tough running. You know, you get in the goal line defense or goal line offense, that's where the men have to stand up. And Lee Smith showed he is a man. Running through Rashad Mouye's block. Am I saying his name right?
Mouye. Absolutely.
Okay.
Rashad Mouye, who now knows the fullback, Lee Smith, pretty well right now.
Yeah, he's got his 34 imprinted on his chest.
Well, they've got him at 5'10", 180 pounds, that fullback. I mean, does he look bigger than that?
Yeah, he looks like about 240, not 180.
Mattingly in to attempt the point after. And Mattingly converts on that one. And so Southern takes the lead off a short touchdown run from their fullback, Lee Smith. They lead Hampton 7-3. Circle City Classic, where Southern from the SWAC leads Hampton from the MEAC 7-3. Thanks to a short touchdown run by Lee Smith, the Jaguars. So now Hampton will try to answer. And
He's still on his feet.
Warren Broughton on the return takes the ball about to the 26, 27-yard line. Will it be 1st and 10?
Sorry, got a little excited there.
Well, you were used to a game that we had about 3 weeks ago, in which we saw some guys from Tennessee State returning the football, most in particular Avion Black.
Avion Black, didn't know who he was until that game.
Lots of folks out here to see Pete Richardson's club. Pete Richardson has just been outstanding as a head coach. And one of 2 disciplinarians on this field. Both coaches, you like them a whole lot.
Oh, yes, definitely.
1st and 10 for the Pirates, who trail as they give it to Coley. Coley busts through the hole and picks up close to 7 yards on that play, just around his average of 7 yards per carry.
Yeah, before that run right there, this Hampton offense only has had 27 yards rushing all game long. 27 yards until that 8-yard pickup.
Deshaun Matthews made the tackle. And Roy Johnson also has been somewhat quiet, just completing 2 of 8 passes. So not running the ball, not throwing the ball, but now let's see if this wakes them up as they trail in the ball game. Inside handoff, and that'll be good for a 1st down.
This is when you go back to your bread and butter.
And Mike Jones is definitely your bread and butter.
Well, he's the butter. Montrell Coley is the bread.
Okay.
So you got both guys getting the ball a lot.
Yes.
For Hampton.
So your point is just keep that ball on the ground. Let's try to beat them up that way. 4 receivers split now. 2 on either side of Johnson. Lone setback is the bread.
Okay, there you go.
And this time, Johnson looks for Compton, and again, the ball is high.
Yeah, and I look and I see Roy Johnson, and I see a very comfortable not young quarterback, but veteran quarterback out there leading this team. But I don't know what's going on in terms of they're not in sync. They're not doing what got them to the 4-0 record. And Joe Taylor there is still very confident in his team. He knows he has a veteran team. He knows leaders, that his leaders on this team will come out and do what they have to do.
Second down and 10.
DeMarcus Miller.
They were waiting for that one. Make no mistake about it. Big number 94, DeMarcus Miller, was the first one in on the play. Let's go down to Joe Claire, who's standing by on the field.
Yeah, I'm still.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I'm standing down here on the field. Southern just scored. The score is 7-3. Are y'all having a wonderful time? Look how they represent. Is this real? This is a real football game. If you're not here, you're missing it. You are missing it. Make sure you come to the Circuit City Classic next time. Back to you, Georgia, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Third down, 14 for Johnson. Being flushed out the pocket, throwing on the run. Pass almost intercepted, and a flag comes in late. That was a great play by Bradley Pittman defensively.
But I think he hit the receiver before the ball got there. It's going to be a defensive pass interference on Bradley Pittman.
Well, credit Southern defensive. Their front seven has been putting on some good pressure on Johnson all day long.
So he hits the receiver, Bradley Pittman does, right before he gets the ball. And Zeriel Smith has to have an opportunity to at least catch the football here. Roy Johnson does a good job of moving around in the pocket, keeping his poise, looking down the field. He kept looking down the field, looking for an opportunity, and that's definitely a pass interference on Bradley Pittman.
So with the penalty, the Pirates will get a first down, and the ball will be 1 yard shy of midfield. $10:19 left here in our first half.
Here we go with another audible. Roy Johnson has the freedom to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what he calls.
And looking for his receiver out in the flat. Could not hold on to the football. This pass was intended for Smith.
Yeah, he just called a little quick hitch play. The receiver runs 5 yards, stops. The ball should be there. Once again, the ball was a little high, but Smith should have caught that. He was anticipating the hit. And was trying to brace before he got hit.
Darnell Henderson was the defender on the play. Second down and 10. Again, they go with that lone setback formation. And another whistle. And it just seems as if Hampton is not in sync in this football game. Johnson doesn't seem like he's quite confident or positive about what he wants to do out there.
Well, what's happening is Southern's defense is confusing.
5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Ed Reese Brown was getting ready to come on a safety blitz. I think Roy Johnson saw that and wanted to make an audible, but he looked up at the clock and knew it was too late. So they're confusing. The Southern defense is confusing Hampton a little bit.
And he's checking off a lot, maybe a lot more than usual. And
maybe too much.
So now they go I formation. A little more definite formation for him to work with. He has one receiver in the slot, and that's his tight end, Adrian Weidman. Second down and 15. Coley with the carry. Coley with the first down. Coley inside the 40-yard line to the 35.
That's what they have to do. If you want to win this football game, you gotta run the football. Running the football, well, look at Coley's numbers there. And of course, last week he had a big week, 145 yards on 12 carries. Of course, one of those 145-yard, part of that 145 yards came on a 98-yard scamper last week. I thought he was going to go to the house with that one. Ed Reese Brown makes the tackle.
Makes the tackle, absolutely, but not until he gains 21 yards on the play. So now it's first and 10, balls at the 35-yard line. And this time it's McElwain, and McElwain picks up almost 8 yards on the carry. Boy, that sure is nice when you go to the lineup and pick up a couple of running backs. Coley makes a big run, give him a little break, and McElwain comes out and runs the football. And he likes to run a little harder than Coley does.
Right. Well, remember, at the start of this series right here, they only had 27 yards rushing. They picked that up in almost one run in this series alone.
Second down, 6 6 yards to go for a first. Actually, it looks like it's under 5. Here's McElwain again. Blockers in front. Good play by the linebacker, Channing Warner. And that's why we talked about him at the top of the show.
Big Channing Warner. And then watch how Southern's defense is very agile. Talked about Channing Warner being able to move from sideline to sideline. Great play.
Warner, 6'1", 232-pound senior from out of the state of Louisiana. 3rd down and 4. Little movement on the Southern defensive front. Johnson. Oh, and he had Jones. And Jones had it in his hands and couldn't bring it down.
Michael Jones, no, he should have had that ball. You know, when you get back in the huddle, you don't say anything. You know, you don't look at anybody in the eyes. You don't say a word. He's had 5 catches for 81 yards, 16.2 yard average for Michael Jones. Look at the replay here.
Well, now they've got a 4th down situation because of the missed pass. AC Wyatt is the field goal kicker, and yet in a situation where he might try a field goal, they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, his longest field goal has been 29 yards.
And because of that incomplete pass, Hampton turns the ball over on downs. So with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left here in our first half, Southern holds on to the lead.
I have a coin toss now.
Hotel accommodations for this broadcast were provided by the Martin House Hotel and Lilly Conference Center, located at 1801 West 86th Street here in Indianapolis. The Martin House offers a 163 newly renovated guest facility, bunch of rooms and suites with a full-service restaurant and a complete fitness center, as well as free parking. For information, call 317-872-4111 for your reservations. George Johnson along with Charles Mann here. 8:11 left here in the first half, and Southern, who has the football, leads 7-3. Troy Williams, the sophomore, has done a pretty good job of running this offense, and now they're going to counter with Lewis. Ryan gets to the outside. Ryan trying to outrun a couple of people and does so inside Pirate territory. Ryan Lewis, the senior from Houston, Texas, who ran for 177 yards last week, picks up good yardage on this one.
He's second in SWAC in rushing, 112.5 yards per game, 450 yard total. Not bad.
First down and 10 again for Southern, and they give it back to Lewis, and now Lewis is getting up, pumping the fist and smacking the hands. He wants a piece of that Pirate defense.
He's got 112 yards rushing average that's at stake right now. He can't get that 112 yards without getting the ball in his hands a few times. Troy Williams has thrown the ball, 18 times. So he's trying to hand the ball off and get Ryan's average up.
2nd and 7. High formation. Now they're going to try a reverse. And Jobert, good block by Williams. Jobert gets close to get another first down. And from Jobert, we go to Joe Clay.
Yeah, check this out. Down here on the field, what's your name?
Betty Clayton.
Where you from?
Lutcher, Louisiana.
And have you been the whole time? I ain't heard nobody but you in the stands. Why is that, Betty?
Because I love them Jags and my babies out there on that field, number 69, Lottie Clayton.
Hey, we gonna go back to y'all because it's too loud down here, baby.
So that's Lutcher, Louisiana, huh? A lot of the players are from Lutcher, Louisiana on the Southern football team.
Well, Troy Williams, who's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with a 4-yard carry, good for a first down for Southern, who continues to move the ball downfield on this possession.
Troy Williams seems to have settled in a little bit at the quarterback position today. He started off a little shaky.
Here's Lewis, and Lewis is now starting to find some holes in that defense. Hunt made the tackle, number 46, and got an assist from Corey Kaysen.
Ryan Lewis is only 5'7", 163 pounds, but he is not afraid to hit it up in there with the big guys. Now look at here, he's split out wide in this 5-receiver set. He's the 5th receiver.
Well, he'll give you 121 all-purpose yards a game. That's what he's averaging. And when you say all-purpose, that's receiving and running and doing everything. So Ryan does a whole lot for this club besides just picking up good yards from the ground, as you talked about a couple of plays ago. Second down, close to 6 yards to go for first. 2 receivers split right for Williams, 3 to the left. Williams over the middle. And this time the pass is incomplete. Chris Parker defensively making the stop and getting a hand in on that pass.
That was a great play by Parker. Great play. He takes away the inside on those slants and gets his hand in there right when the ball was coming in.
Chris Parker has done everything for this team. He holds. Last year he was the kick returner, punt returner, held for kicks. I mean, and now he's playing defensive back, and they say he is a tough one. Good pressure by the Pirates that time, and Williams had to get rid of that football extremely quickly, and it was intended for Jobert, but he wasn't even looking for the passion.
Well, I don't know what happened there, but no one blocked on the end. Monty Foote came clean. Dion Hunt came clean. Nobody seemed to want to block him.
So here we are, 4th and 6 at this Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic. Bushart will attempt to punt the football maybe a little better than he did the last time, with an opportunity to knock it inside the 20. This one's a good one. And Bushart, let's see where they mark it. He's still walking up. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 13-yard line, where Hampton will take over 1st and 10, trailing 7-3. 6:12 left. We'll have more from BET next.
Your family.
Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic, where Southern leads 7-3. Time now for our trivia question, brought to you by McDonald's. The irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And I'm wondering if you can answer this question here. Hampton lost to Florida A&M in the '96 Circle City Classic. What record did they break? Think about that. 1st and 10 for the Pirates, who...
DeMarcus Miller is a stud. This guy is all over the place.
Coley with the carry. Miller with the stop.
He's coming into this game. He had 17 tackles. 7 of those tackles were for losses, and I see why now with the way he's defending the ball.
So again, our question.
I know that.
What record did they set? You know the record. You know the answer.
Yes.
Okay. Then you're going to be the one that gives it. You're going to be the one that gives it.
Okay.
Okay. 2nd down and 10. No yardage on that carry for Coley. Intercepted. And I thought the linebacker had it.
Nice.
And eventually, the safety is the one who came up with the interception. Number 33, Darnell Henderson.
Very nice play. He seemed like he was the receiver on that play. The receiver stopped running the route, and Darnell Henderson went for the ball.
Pass was intended, looks like, for the tight end Jones, and thanks to that interception. Keep in mind, Southern came into this game, and hold on, let's take a look at the answer of our trivia question. Brought to you by McDonald's, and here's the answer.
And we talked about this earlier. 6 overtimes. The game that would not end.
Would not end. I remember that game. I was here. Southern with the football, 1st and 10 on the carry. And our trivia question was brought to you by McDonald's, the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
5 hours and 10 minutes. And FAMU ends up winning that 59-58.
2nd down and 8 for Southern. I formation. Lewis is your deep back. Trying to make a move, and could not get free, but credit big number 90 for coming in there. Damon Dawson.
Yeah. He forced that play and made Ryan Lewis change direction. And he slipped. And once in college, once a knee goes down, you're down, even if you're not hit.
Damon Dawson, the junior from College Park, Georgia. Lewis lost a couple of yards, makes it 3rd down and 11. Williams rolling left. Has some room, but not enough to get a first down. He was moved out of bounds by Corey Casey. Only picked up about 4 yards on the play, so it'll be now 4th down.
You know, in my career, towards the end of my career, I was very protective of my knees. I've had 13 knee operations, so I had to be very protective. I'm watching on that play, Deion Hunt pursuing the football, trying to get to the quarterback, and guys going for his knees. He almost stopped to make sure he took care of his knees. Remember, this is the guy we talked about earlier that has aspirations of going to the NFL. The only thing that could probably stop this young man is the fact that he had a bad knee from being chop blocked.
So on a 4th down situation, the ball is located at the 23-yard line.
Right.
So you're wondering, Southern, a little timeout situation right here, thinking, do we go for this or do we kick it? Looks like they've got Mattingly out on the field, the field goal kicker. And it'll be close to a 40-yard field goal attempt for Mattingly.
Well, his long is
42. Or is that 33?
No, he's 33 yards is his longest, so this would be his longest. He's 4 for 5. I'd give the kid a chance.
Well, last year his longest was 42.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so he has kicked the football this distance. So we're looking at a 40-yard field goal attempt.
And you're in controlled situation. There's no wind. There's no weather to deal with. You should probably be able to kick it 50 yards.
Bussard is your holder. That kick had plenty of distance.
It was long enough, but it was to the left. Right or left?
It looked like it was off. Well, it was off.
It was the left.
I don't know. Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic coming up, the Southwest Airlines halftime report. Of course, you'll see both bands. We'll also give you first half stats and highlights. That's all coming up at the half. Hampton trailing 7-3. 1st and 10, ball located at the 23-yard line. And another pretty good run by their tailback, Coley, but they haven't been able to string enough of these together to mount any substantial drive to get them in scoring position.
It's not like they haven't been able to string it together. They've gone away from it. Right here, you watch Montrell Coley getting up the field. He waits for an opening, and then he goes up the field. Doesn't dilly-dally around. I like that word, dilly-dally.
Dilly-dally.
Yeah.
And DeMarcus Miller, once again, was the guy there throwing his body in front of the tailback. 1st and 10, though, after Coley picks up 10 yards on that play. They give it to him again. This time he tries the right side, and nothing doing as Channing Warner came up, number 54, to make the play defensively. So 3.5 minutes are left here in our first half. And both teams coming into this one undefeated, considered the class of their respective conferences, and this one has been a tight ball game.
Well, the story here was that, you know, as you look at these 4 wins by each team, Southern's 4 wins seem to have been against a lighter opponent. And, you know, most of the people we talked to said that, you know, Southern hadn't played anybody.
Michael Compton on that reception. And he picks up close to 18 yards with the catch and a first down.
That was actually the first real long pass from Roy Johnson that he completed other than the opening play to Montrell Coley.
2:45 and counting. Pirates trying to make something happen before half. I formation.
There he is again, DeMarcus Miller.
DeMarcus Miller continues.
I'm telling you, the guy makes tackles behind the line of scrimmage. When you play defense, that's the way you play defense. You get into the opponent's backfield. Watch this play right here. Gets in the backfield. You know what he should start doing? I'd start putting my hands together and accept the handoff. Might as well go ahead and take the handoff. You're right there.
Coley picks up no yards on that play. Or should I say Miller picked up no yards. Second down and 10. Again, I formation. Compton goes in motion. Johnson again. Here comes pressure. He fumbles the football. Nothing but Southern players around. Picked up by Southern. Touchdown. And again, making the play, number 45, Donnie Dillon with the pickup. But boy, there were a whole lot of guys back there ready to do the job if he could. Wow. Looked like Robert Chapman may be the guy who scooped up the fumble. It was Robert Chapman, number 43.
This game is going to be won by big plays. That was definitely a big play by Robert Chapman as he gets the ball and scampers around 32 yards.
Idris Brown was your defensive back that came on the blitz and jarred the ball loose.
Came on Johnson's blind side.
And Chapman picked it up, carried it in for the touchdown. And Chapman's recovery goes 35 yards. And after the point after is good by Mattingly. Southern now leads 14-3. And boy, I can tell you there are a whole lot of folks in the Tidewater area right now who are standing around with their mouths wide open as Southern is taking it to their Hampton Pirates.
I hope Robert Chapman makes sure he goes over to Ed Reese Brown and thanks him for the gift. The ball bounced right up into his arms.
Well, Brown is the leading tackler among defensive backs, but there's Robert Chapman, who in week 3 of this year had 9 tackles, 4 of those for losses. So when you talk about this Southern defense, there are several players that have just come up big all year long. I mean, you talk about DeMarcus Miller. We haven't seen Nathaniel Bell earlier. Gillis Wilson was doing a great job. Channing Warner all game long has been solid. We saw Shannon Smith almost, make an interception.
Almost make an interception.
Bradley Pittman on the defensive secondary also coming up with some good plays.
Southern defense definitely outplaying Hampton's defense right now.
And that's why they're the #1 defense in the SWAC. Easy to see. We didn't even talk about the fact that they came into the ball game. Turnover ratio was unbelievable. And they had 13 interceptions as a team. Unbelievable, this Southern club.
Right. In fact, the turnover ratio is a +10, was a +10 going into this game. 13 interceptions, like you talked about, 5 forced fumbles, and 11 sacks.
So Hampton will try to counter. Warren Broughton, the receiver, takes it back deep. And he takes it around the sideline and is finally tackled by number 17, Demia Jamison. So now Hampton is in a situation with a minute 43 where maybe they've got to rush things a little bit.
Well, I don't think Joe Taylor is a guy that gets easily rattled. 14-3, you're down, 11 points. It's not, you got a whole nother half. You got to stay with what brought you here. You don't want to get too excited, and you don't want to convey that to your players.
Johnson to Compton, and Compton is run out of bounds by Bradley Pittman. And he only picked up, well, let's say he picked up about 3 yards on the play, so that makes it 2nd down and 7. And the clock is still rolling, so he didn't get out of bounds. And look at the rings. They are proud of their championships here at the SWAC. But if you think about it, I mean, Southern as a school is a champion school. 8 championships last year in sports. And they're proud of that. McElwain with the catch. And Warner says, hey, listen, I don't need my helmet. Just come here.
he could play without it. He is a tough guy.
Reminds me of a former Redskin that you and I both knew, who made his mark.
Raven Caldwell.
By making a tackle with no helmet.
On special teams.
If Raven's out there listening, we're thinking of you. 4 receivers in the pattern. Johnson keeps it this time and runs it inside the 35-yard line. Good pickup for the quarterback. He got about 17 yards on that play.
And I'm watching DeMarcus Miller down the field, big number 94. It says on the program he's 5'10", 285. That is a lie, okay? Look at this guy. Look at the build on him. You know what, though? He's deceivingly quick.
Absolutely. And he's been all over the field, like you said. Johnson again. Is he going to hold on to this one, too? He does so and gets out of bounds with 43 seconds left. And now we've got a late flag on the play.
For a late hit. Now, the late hit was not on the quarterback. The late hit was, looked like by the tight end, Adrian Weidman, on a Southern player. And that's exactly what it was. You don't expect Adrian Weidman, a senior, very poised young man, to be doing something like that. There's probably a little stuff being talked out there, though.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty, defeat, 1st down.
So Hampton now finds himself in a 1st and long situation with 43 seconds left. We'll be right back. Here on a 1st down situation, Johnson downfield, great play by Southern. And yet another interception for the Jaguars. We talked about the fact that they will get back defensively to make plays, and this time it's intercepted by Darnell Henderson.
That ball just did not have enough velocity on it. Roy Johnson did not seem like he was comfortable in his setup and his release of the football right here. Watch him. Well, it looked like he threw it with all he had. Just wasn't enough. He certainly had Warren Broughton open. In fact, he had 2 or 3 steps over the defenders.
Roy Johnson, 2 of 12. You can see all these folks on this team with interceptions. Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. It's crazy.
You were talking to Coach Richardson yesterday about that Redskin team you played for when you had a plus, what was it, a plus
46
turnover ratio. And his club is playing unbelievably defense, and even he looked at you and said, oh. Yeah. As if to say, if only my team could get near those kind of numbers. Well, the way they play defensively, they may.
After talking to Coach Richardson, I got the feeling that he didn't know how his team would respond today. It seemed as though he felt like his ball club might play well, but might not, because they hadn't been in this big game kind of situation, these young guys.
And but yet,
they're playing pretty well.
They've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
14-3 they lead after 1/2 of play. More from the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic after this. Back to the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic. Time now for our Southwest Airlines halftime report. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Well, we talked a lot about this football game between 2 teams that came in both at 4-0. Hampton in Southern. Right here at half, it's Southern who has the advantage. Hampton took the early lead, 3-0, on an 18-yard field goal by A.C. Wyatt, but then Southern comes right back. They get Lee Smith to go in from 3 yards out, and then Robert Chapman returns a fumble for 35 yards. Both kicks were good, and that's where we stand, 14-3, Southern on top. It's halftime, which means it's time to enjoy the bands. Stepping up to the plate first, Hampton, or the Marching Force. Marching Force doing their thing from Hampton University, and Hot Ice joining them. We'll have more from the Southwest Airlines Circle City Classic coming to you from Indianapolis right after this. Today's Airlines halftime report. Time now for the Human Jukebox and the Dancing Dolls of Southern University. Sit back and relax. RCA Dome, where this has been our halftime report, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And now it's time to take a look at our nationwide statistics, brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, Financial Services on your side. And here are our first half stats. Passing yards in the favor of Hampton, but they've turned the ball over three times.
That's the thing. The glaring key there is 3 turnovers to 1, and then time of possession, Hampton's dominated the ball. They just haven't been able to do anything with it once they've moved the ball.
Not bad throwing for Troy Williams of Southern, 12 of 18, but Roy Johnson is just 2 of 12, and that also a big difference in quarterback play. Let's take a look at our first half stats.
And this the first play from scrimmage. That's Roy Johnson throwing to a wide open Montrell Coley, but they were not able to capitalize. They had to settle for a field goal, and that makes it 3-0 Hampton. Then Southern marched all the way down and was able to jam this in with their fullback, Lee Smith, put Southern ahead 7-3. But then the defense came on big after that big hit by Ed Reese Brown, and Robert Chapman scampers 35 yards to make the score 14-3 Southern.
And that's where we stand right now, is the Pirates representing the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and Southern.
And here's a couple of SWAC. Here's a couple of defensive plays that really bothered this team. Bothered Southern, actually. I mean, bothered Hampton, actually. Big number 94, DeMarcus Miller, made some great plays. And at this, you see there, DeMarcus Miller just making some fantastic plays, rattling Roy Johnson, and then Ed Reese right there with the sack and caused fumble, and Robert Chapman scampers 35 yards for the touchdown. And this was right before the half. Didn't have enough arm strength, Roy Johnson there, and he throws the ball right to Darnell Henderson, number 33 for Southern. So it's been a defensive game for Southern. Southern's offense has been the recipient of some nice turnovers, and then Southern's defense also scored. You like that when your defense can score as well.
Well, this portion of today's game is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, Financial Services on your side. Nationwide. And the portion of the game that we move on to is the start of the third, which I would assume in most football vernacular is a very key time for a team, especially trailing in the ball game. You have to come out of that tunnel and reestablish yourself, I would assume, the Pirates.
Or in this case, establish yourself. There's no reestablishing. They haven't done anything in the first half. Now the Pirates, the Hampton Pirates, have been very sound. As you look at their scoring, they've scored big numbers, over 30 points in the first quarter and in the third quarter of games.
Right.
In the second quarter and the fourth quarter, they've been able to score 19 points in each of those. So this is the time when Coach Joe Taylor really gets his team fired up to come out and that first series make something happen.
Problem is that every time they try to make a move offensively, the top defense in the SWAC says nothing doing. They come up with an interception, good defensive pressure, as you just showed on the highlights. Looking at our scoring drive.
12 plays, 61 yards for Southern, and they end it with a Lee Smith bulldog run into the end zone.
And we, of course, had the drive earlier. This was actually our first scoring drive of the ball game. 5 plays, 63 yards. A.C. Wyatt, the senior field goal kicker, had an 18-yard field goal. You know, A.C., the last time he was in this building, it was a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
He missed 2 field goals. He missed 2 extra points. And that is why Hampton went into 6 overtimes with Florida A&M. And then in the overtime, he missed an extra point.
And I
ultimately
understand you reminded him of that when you saw him
Absolutely.
yesterday.
I had to ask him. I had to ask him how he felt. Well, he said, I felt good because last year I beat Florida A&M with a kick. So now he's just got to get over these demons here at the RCA Dome. But he did kick the field goal earlier in the ball game. And yet it doesn't really come into play here because Southern has been defensively stopping the offense of Hampton and not allowing him any opportunities.
Right, I think Hampton's going to have to open up the game offensively. You know, they play that bread and butter kind of offense, you know, very generic.
Carey Bowie.
Scoring offense, both Hampton and Southern are third in their conferences, respectively.
Carey Bowie deep to receive the kick. Last week he had a 95-yard return. He takes this one at the 5. And Bowie is only going to pick up 15 yards on that return. Bowie, by the way, is averaging 45 yards every time he touches the ball in the kickoff return. So that's not bad. That puts your team in great position every time they touch the football. But this time he just gets the ball out to the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 for his quarterback, Troy Williams, who, as I said, 12 of 18 coming in to the second half for 83 yards. No touchdown passes, but he has thrown an interception. 1st and 10. They give it to Lewis, and Lewis bounces out to about the 23. It'll be 2nd and 7.
The key for Hampton right here is in this first defensive series, 3 plays and out. Establish yourself right away and get the momentum. No first downs.
Calvin Mills is your up back here in this I formation for Southern. And they're going to go in the air on 2nd down. And a nice little ball thrown by Williams to Jobert, and it was kind of high still. Jobert couldn't come down with it.
You know, this is exactly the way Williams started in the first half. Is he started throwing the ball off a little high. Once again, that one could have been caught, though. You know, Jobert could have caught that. There's been a lot of drop balls in this game.
And isn't that the difference? You played at the next level between the great players. They go out and they make those kind of catches. And if you want to establish yourself as that kind of player, you make that play.
You have to believe that this may be the only time you get a ball. You got to catch it.
Williams improvising, finds Lewis, and Lewis will be short of a first down.
Great play by the redshirt freshman Greg Scott, number 99, forcing the issue and making Troy Williams throw this football. Right here, look at, think Greg Scott is feeling, remembering his athleticism as a all-around athlete in high school, basketball, you name it, he played it.
From out of Cortland, Virginia. 4th down, Bussart with a punt, a pretty good one. Coleman back to receive the kick. Trying to get to the outside.
He got there. He got there.
He's at the 40. Trying to cut back inside.
Great play by Ed Reese.
And Reese makes the tackle. But Coleman puts his team in pretty good field position with 13:30 left here in the 3rd quarter. Coleman with the return, and Hampton now with a chance to move the ball downfield and cut into this 14-3 deficit. Welcome back to the Southwest Airlines Black College Football Circle City Classic. And how about the coach on that field goal?
If you can hold the team to just a 3-point play and continue to have the lead, oh my God, look
and here goes Gary, and we talked about him, the ability to break tackles on the kickoff last week, a 95-yard return. He averages 45 yards on his returns, and here he is again, setting his club up big. Carey Bowie. You know, Bowie this week was named the Southwestern Athletic Conference Special Teams Player of the Week. And that was a 38-yard return. And so just shy of midfield is Southern. They have an 8-point lead.
Nice play.
Jobert with the catch. Makes a nice little move and gets to the 40. That's good for a first down.
That's a good play right there. Fake the handoff to Ryan Lewis. Catch the defense, freeze them for a minute. Jobert gets open.
Well, you talked about the fact that the Pirates had to capitalize on that long scoring drive. They did take 10 plays to get there, holding on to the football, and yet to come back with 3. Yeah, you don't know if that, you feel they wanted more than that, obviously.
That's why you see defensive coordinator for Southern, Michael Veit, clapping and applauding his defense for holding them to 3. Oh,
inside handoff this time. They do give it to Lewis, and Lewis gets to the 20. And Lewis picks up 20 yards on that carry.
Southern is showing some nice little innovativeness off their offense. It's doing some different things, not trick plays, if you will.
So now let's go down to Joe Claire, who's standing by.
Yeah, your man Joe Claire down here on the field. My dog Hampton James from the Indianapolis Coke. Hey, look, man, give me a quick commentary on the game.
Oh, it's all right. They need to make some more plays. We need some more points put on the board. Everybody come out and see some exciting stuff, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, why don't you go suit up right quick, run it 2 quarters.
Oh, man, they ain't paying out here, man. You know what? Hey, I done did it for free too long, Joe.
I'm going to kick it back to you, George, while we go try to get this money together.
Well, you know, like they say, it's all about them Benjamins. He's not going anywhere, but he sure is making a nice piece of money with the Colts.
Yeah.
And he's doing the job for them.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That was a NFL draft, and you see Edgerrin James go before,
Ricky Williams. Absolutely.
Shocked a lot of people, but I think, now with the injuries that Ricky has had, I think people believe in him. That's Chris Parker.
Absolutely. That's a big loss.
The backup corner who actually has been starting
for Curtis Spada, who has a bad ankle.
Exactly. So this is a huge loss. And we hope that the turf didn't cause that. We've had about 4 or 5 little injuries. Looks like he gets bent up.
See, we can see highlights on the folks can, and it was a pretty bad injury on his part. Here's Williams. Williams delivers to Gallion. Gallion at the 5 and knocked out. Touchdown!
The referee went down.
Haywood Gallion with the catch and score for 20 yards. And Southern reestablishes control with another 6.
Gallion's had a pretty nice day. Watch this play right here. He just runs underneath the coverage, comes all the way across the field, tries to get away from the defender.
And Nathan Brown never had a chance once he got his motor going.
He started on the right side of the field, went all the way over to the left side of the field to get that ball underneath the coverage.
And Mattingly, the sophomore from the state of Texas, is coming in to attempt yet another point after. And how about Southern? You work downfield, you only get 3. Then we come back and jam 6 down your throat. And that's got to be demoralizing to Hampton.
Well, they're scoring in bunches. They're getting it easy.
Mattingly's kick is up and good. So it's 21-6 with 8:12 left here in the 3rd quarter, folks. This one's far from over, but Southern is slowly but surely knocking this thing out the box. Southwest Airlines Black College Football Circle City Classic. Time now for our Circuit City Connection.
And it was the first play of the game. Roy Johnson throws the ball to a wide open Montrell Coley for 52-yard hookup.
Today's connection brought to you by Circuit City. Answers in every department, low prices all over the store. And when we
we saw that Circuit City connection. We thought, hey, listen, Hampton came to play. They're ready to do this. And yet, the Southern defense, despite the big play, stiffened up, allowed Hampton only 3 points, and maybe that set the tone. And we didn't realize it at the time, but it could have set the tone. The Southern was saying defensively,
we came to play.
Here comes Warren Broughton on the kickoff return and gets it out to about the 22, where Hampton will take over 1st and 10.
You know, there's been a lot of injuries out here on this AstroTurf. Is it because of the AstroTurf?
Well, you know, there's a lot of stadiums that have decided, hey, listen, we just heard of the Meadowlands. They want to change their stadium now to regular grass. It took their starting quarterback to go down. Here's your scoring drive. Took just 3 plays. They went 51 yards. Took 54 seconds. But let's don't forget that Kerry Bowie set everything up with a great kickoff return to 38 yards.
Special teams is big. Special teams has always been big in football.
8 minutes and 6 seconds left here. Roy Johnson and the Pirates trailing, and all of a sudden, in a hole.
Guess who forced that play?
Is it Mr. Miller?
Yes, it is.
Are you ready to start calling him Mr. Miller?
Yes, we probably should. DeMarcus Miller forced that play. Didn't get the sack, though, but he forced the play.
You talked about how Hampton likes to put points on the board in the 1st and 3rd quarter, and they've done so all year long.
Yeah.
Southern made sure they did nothing in the 1st. And how about Southern exploding for 14 points in the 2nd?
And 7 of those points are from the defense, which always is nice.
Roy Johnson is your quarterback for Hampton. This time they try the interior of that Southern Jaguars defense with their fullback Jones. Nothing doing. Miller there again.
And there we go with another ankle. Looked like a high ankle or a calf. He might have a cramp. That's Michael Jones limping off the field right there, reaching for his calf. A lot of times you get cramps. Indoor games like this, you lose a lot of water.
And Karima Mayer will be the fullback who comes in to replace him. That turf is just so tough on your knees. Here's Roy Johnson now. 3rd down. Club has to get out to the 31-yard line for a 1st down. They're at the 21, or actually at the 15. Uh-oh! And these Jaguars have just been playing unbelievable defense. This time, I'm sorry.
Rashawn Matthews made that play. You know what, though? I tell you, a lot of what's happening, yes, Southern's defense are making great plays, but Roy Johnson is holding the ball way too long. You've got to have a sense out there that, okay, it's time to get rid of the ball.
And maybe playing in the back of his mind is the fact that I am playing a team that has generated a lot of interceptions over the season. And maybe I'm thinking a little extra, and that extra second is hurting them. And it might be the reputation they've built.
When they've had success moving the ball down the field, it's been the short passes complemented by great runs up the middle. We didn't see any of that right there.
Deshaun Evans is standing back at midfield as Tellis Bolden is prepared to kick the football. And wobbly punt out of bounds, and not a good one at all.
Wow.
Well, Southern's going to have good field position when we get back from this break. 6.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd.
Hey, football fans, if you watch the Southwest Airlines Black College Football Classics on BET, you could win a fabulous trip to Orlando, Florida. Between September 11th and November 20th, BET will broadcast 4 Black College football games. To win. All you have to do is write down the final score of each game on a postcard. Include your name, address, and phone number, and mail your entry to the address listed by November 24th, 1999. The grand prize is a Southwest Airlines vacation for 4 to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, where you'll stay at the Sheraton Inn Safari. You'll get passes to the park and the BET Soundstage Club on Disney's Pleasure Island, plus ground transportation and $1,000. Winner will be announced during the SWAC Championship game on December 11th. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines Vacations. Pack your bags. You're on your way. Southwest Airlines, a proud sponsor of the Black...
And we're back here at the RCA Dome. George Johnson along with Charles Mann taking a look at Southern at 4-0. Take control of Hampton, who also came in at 4-0. You know, Southern is playing 3... Can I get your attention? I mean,
oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
You're distracted a little bit. I understand. 3 non-conference games this year.
Right.
They already knocked off Northwestern State.
Right.
They have Hampton, and they have Florida A&M.
Right.
This will go far away in their standings if they can beat all 3 of those teams. But Hampton immediately comes out and gets a big play from Karima Mayer and a good gain for a first down, close to 25 yards on that carry.
I don't know if I could say his name as good as you say it.
Karima Mayer?
Yeah.
You know, Karima had a big brother named Tyrone Mayer who played here before he did.
Yeah.
And Tyrone could play football. He was a good fullback, although he had this look like, he was kind of like a Bettis. He was big, but he was very nifty. And his younger brother, Karima, has just been absolutely solid for this club, averaging over 5 yards per carry. Here he is again, off the first down, bounces off a would-be tackler in his own blocker and picks up 4.
Yeah, fell forward for 4 yards. That's how you do it. You want to fall forward every time you get the ball.
Karima's from Chester, Virginia.
4.9 yards per carry average. That's real nice. Finds an opening right there and falls forward. You get 4.9 yards per carry, you go all the way down the field and score. There's Roy Johnson audibling at the line.
On a 2nd and 6, finds his receiver, Warren Broughton, and Broughton makes his 10-second catch of the game.
That was a very well-thrown ball. He threw it with assertiveness. The receiver caught the ball.
And he picked up 15 yards in the process.
Look at the replay. And watch how he sets up. I mean, there was no hesitation. He didn't throw it behind him. He didn't throw it in front of him. He threw it right where it was supposed to be, right in the zone.
Sean Overton making the tackle. 1st and 10, though, at the 45-yard line. Johnson, time. Johnson delivers. And this time, the ball is caught by his tight end, Adrian Wideman.
I sure like to hear him sing. I was telling you earlier that he's the lead singer of an 18-player choir for Hampton. And he plays the piano as well. And on the side, he plays football, tight end for the Hampton Pirates.
And this 24-yard reception, sweet music to the ears of Joe Taylor. 20 balls on the 22, 1st and 10, Karima inside. Barreling again for positive yardage.
It's almost like when I go surfing, you know, you go into one of those tunnels and then you come out the other side. That's what Karima did there.
Yes, he did. As Nathaniel Bell was in on the tackle, but there's a good look at Karima.
Workhorse. Gave Montrell Coley a little break here, trying something new.
6th play of this drive, as you can see. Johnson out of the shotgun, dumps it off. He had Mayer, but Karima couldn't hold on to the football, so it'll be 3rd down.
There's a little trash talking going on out there. I don't know if you noticed it, but you know, that's why there have been a couple of unnecessary roughness penalties in this game. And Karima knew he should have held onto that ball. And then guess who comes over there? Channing Warner comes over and talks to him a little bit, saying, hey, if you're scared, call the police.
Or as one of our Jackie Bowman would say, if you're scared, say you're scared. Over the middle, and I think he was scared on that one because he should have made that catch. And even Joe Taylor would tell you, man, you got to make that play.
Well, what Joe Taylor is upset with, Joe Taylor is upset that he didn't come back and get the ball. You don't sit there and wait for the ball. It takes forever. You got to step, that's a comeback route. You got to come back and get the ball. Who wants it?
Zuriel Smith was your intended receiver as we come to the end of the fourth quarter. So Hampton is faced with a 4th down and 6 situation. They'll think about it, and we'll have what they thought about right after this.
Hey, football fans, if you watch...
And Southern has struggled on the offensive end, and now they've got a brand new quarterback in the ball game. And number 4, Terrence Levy, the guy who the snap went over his head the last series.
Right.
Put them deep in their own end. So let's see if Levy can get this offense to move a little bit. They've got to take some time off the clock. Make it harder. Calvin Mills with the carry, excuse me.
Yeah, just like Southern scored with their defense, Hampton can take an opportunity like this and keep the Jaguars backed up here and try to get a score.
Have you ever been in ball games where the offense was struggling and defensively you said to yourselves, hey, you know what? Maybe we're going to have to put 6 on the board.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And maybe the defense needs to think that way. With 9 minutes and counting, Levy throwing downfield, overthrows his receiver.
There was a chance right there with Kermit Strait. Had a chance to catch that ball and get a turnover on about the 28-yard line for his team.
You've got to think that way defensively.
You have
the offense is not getting it done.
Too many missed opportunities. Look at this ball. He makes a great play. Come down with the ball. That ball must have some kind of slippery something on it. I don't know. It's been very elusive to catch.
Could be the dome. But again, these teams play these classics all year long. They're used to playing in situations like this. 3rd down and 10. Levy back to pass over the middle. Galligan catch and another big catch by a Jaguar receiver. They've been making it all game long.
That was huge. That was a huge pickup for Troy Williams. He had nice passing lane to throw the football. No defensive pressure on him whatsoever. And Galligan comes down with a big catch.
And Troy Williams has come back into the ball game. And he made the throw.
Yes.
That got them this first.
You see the passing efficiency right there. Hampton in the MEAC is 2nd. Southern in the SWAC is 5th.
Sure would.
It's looked a lot different than that tells the story.
Williams finds his receiver Mitchell Hayes, and Hayes is close to yet another Southern 1st down. Troy Williams, we talked about the player of the game, but Troy has really just done the small things. He hasn't made super plays. The defense obviously has been the star of this game, but Troy has done a solid job of keeping the offense moving.
Absolutely, I would
Getting
agree.
1st downs. You don't have to make big plays.
As a sophomore, he's just a sophomore out there.
Going to be around for a while.
This is a big game to be playing in.
Oh, and that pass was deflected and then almost intercepted by Hampton. The player who had a chance at the pick was number 7, Rashid Mouye, but he couldn't come down with it.
Once again, I mean, it would have been a great play if he'd have came up with the pass. I mean, with the interception. But once again, this defense of Hampton has had their opportunities to make plays. They just keep coming up short.
So here's a 3rd down situation, and it's probably a big 3rd down for Hampton. They've got to make a stop.
Only need 1.5 yards.
And good pressure that time by
Hunt.
The Pirates. Dion pressured Williams into that bad pass, and that'll make it 4th down. And Bussard will come in.
Now Hampton has blocked a few kicks. In fact, they've blocked 4 kicks on the year. 2 of Howard's extra points, and then a couple other kicks. I'd be thinking about blocking a punt right here.
Bussard is back at his 15-yard line as Coleman is back deep to receive the punt. End over end kick.
Pick that up. You got to pick that up.
Boy, that's a good little punt right there. Goes all the way back to the 7-yard line. Bussard with a pretty good punt right there.
You call that good?
65 yards, I call that better than good. Maybe great. 7-12 left here in the game. We'll have more after this.
Everybody loves.
1st and 10. Johnson was looking for Adrian Weidman. I think it's time for our player of the game. Ready to let him know who you selected as the player of the game?
Well, I mean, I don't want to do the selection all by myself.
I think it was a good, good selection. Who would you say it would be?
Let's let them know it was 5'10", 285-pound senior from Houston, Texas. Number 94, but number 1 in your heart, DeMarcus Miller.
Defensive lineman. I knew eventually one of them would make
yeah, well.
2nd down and 10. Pirates deep in their territory. So now let's do it the right way. The player of the game is brought to you by AutoZone. More than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts and auto parts. And you picked him.
DeMarcus Miller has been a monster all day in the backfield. 8 tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks for losses for 14 yards. Oh, I mean, the guy just played out of his mind.
He's a senior from Houston, Texas, and I got a lot of family down there in Texas. I want to say hello to them. And,
3rd Ward.
And Mr. Miller represented to all my peeps down there in Houston, Texas.
Well, you know, you're going to take the time to say that while we're looking at DeMarcus Miller. I'm going to say something. My cousin begged me to say that Linda Brown went to Southern University. I wanted to say hi to Linda out there.
And so does our player of the game. Player of the game has been brought to you by AutoZone, the more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Mr. Miller, that's what the coaching staff told us to call him.
Okay,
right?
All right. I'll call him Mr. Miller. Absolutely.
DeMarcus has been good. 5'10", 285 pounds. And as you said in the first half, you don't believe it.
Yeah, he's bigger than that, huh? He's bigger than that.
2nd down and 10. Hampton trailing 21-6 deep in their own territory. And they get good yardage on that carry by Michael Jones as he's just shy of the 15.
Going with the no huddle, which is a good move with the 6:45 mark.
Down and 2. Johnson rolling. Johnson looking for a 1st down, and I don't think he got it.
That play right there is the play I would have run on the 3rd and 5 near the goal line in the last series.
Wilson there. Channing Warner was there.
Now we got Roy Johnson limping a little bit. That turf monster again. The turf monster has been getting a lot of people today. Ankles, a lot of slight ankle sprains, little contusions.
They're going to measure for a 1st down.
That's a 1st.
Yeah, he did get the 1st down.
He paid for it, too.
And he's had to run the football because there have been several plays in which his receivers could have made catches.
Yeah, definitely missed opportunities right there. There's 1. There's 2. And we're not keeping all the count. There's 3. Give him 7 points. Here's 4. Just missed opportunity after missed opportunity. We're back live.
And here's Jones again with the carry. But the time can definitely not on their side as we're now under 6 minutes left.
And they're running no huddle, but they're taking more time at the line than if I'd go back in the huddle if you're going to take this much time.
Jones picks up 9 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 1. Johnson pumps once. Looking the other way. Oh my.
Nice play.
He didn't look the right way as Rashawn Matthews comes up and makes the play.
Was that who it was? Oh, okay.
Number 98.
Okay. I'm seeing things.
Just one of the many guys they use on this defensive line.
He used great hands to get off the fullback block. And he got right by Mike Jones, who was supposed to block him.
Johnson lost 8 yards on that play. 3rd down and 9. Roy over the middle, and that may have been the best catch all day for the Hampton Pirates as Adrian Weidman brings it in with the hands.
Yeah, you got to save those hands for the piano now. He's a piano player.
So that's the one guy that you want to save his hands.
Yeah, well, you don't want to see it. You don't want him to have hands like I have, okay? You know, I always wanted to be a hand model and do commercials for my hands.
How about this defense?
Oh,
another sack this time, Gillis Wilson.
Yeah. You know, we argued about who we should give the player of the game to.
I said defense.
You said the whole defense, and, you know, granted, they played huge the whole day.
Everybody is just pitching in defensively. But they backs, the linebackers have been solid.
Yeah, this is, you know, we said at the top of the show that you had an opportunity to see who was the best.
Right.
Both teams come in at 4-0. The MEAC against the SWAC. You know, this was the opportunity. Both coaches touting excellent records of 60-plus wins on for each of their teams.
Let's go down to Joe Claire.
Yeah, I'm down here on the field. I met up with some of my little cousins. This is my little cousin,
Robbie.
And this is my other little cousin,
Stephen.
And this is my other little cousin,
Jarrell.
Hey, and y'all play football?
Yeah.
What position?
Nose guard.
Defensive tackle, nose guard. You play?
Yeah.
What you play?
Fullback.
Fullback? Y'all hope to be out there one day?
Yeah, one day, man.
Y'all good grades in school? Average? Well, only good grade players get to get on the thing. Now, this is a public service announcement. You need to be at home doing your homework and going to practice instead of being at the game. All right, Terrell? Now I'll be looking for you in the NFL. Back to you, George.
Joe, you gonna tell us how you did in school? Joe, how about you? How'd you do in school?
I did a, don't do that on TV to me. Go back to you.
All right, thanks, Joe Claire.
He didn't want to mess
I just
with
want to make sure, you know.
He didn't want to mess with that. You better leave me alone.
Oh, he's going to let me know about that one later. 3rd down, 21. Johnson rolling. Another sack by the Jaguars. Oh, my. That's Wilson again. Is that 3 consecutive sacks?
Yes, he's holding the ball way too long. I mean, I understand nobody's open. Well, throw the ball away or run it. It's amazing.
Hampton and Southern both ranked number 3 in their conferences in sacks. Yet, I don't know, Southern, their numbers could rise after this one. They really have just done a job on Hampton's offensive
Southern
line.
only had 27 sacks all season long last year. So this is a big game for them.
And this punt by Bolden is not even going to get to midfield. 3:43 left here in our football game, and it's been all Southern, folks. Southern in the SWAC is first in total defense, first in scoring defense. And here's a good example why.
Boy, a Southern defensive highlight reel. 3 sacks in the last series. And 2 by Gillis Wilson.
And there's the remaining schedule for Southern, Alabama A&M, Jackson State, which could be a pretty good football game, Alcorn State, then they're open. And now they start to run the football. And if they can make that happen, it's going to be a really long day for Hampton. It has been a long day already, actually. That's Alvin Harvey. Here's Hampton's schedule. North Carolina A&T next week. And Norfolk State down in Norfolk. That's the Battle of the Bay, they call that. Florida A&M will be a big football game. And you can believe that the Rattlers are watching this one and saying, okay now, you're a little fallible. Maybe we can make our move for a championship. Again, they give it to number 44, and Harvey gains a first down. Actually, has that been Lewis? Dane Lewis has been with the carry. Here's our next game coming up, which will bring you Alabama State and Alabama A&M on October 30th. And that is the Magic City Classic.
All right. Battle of the Alabamas. Huh?
Yeah, we're going to Birmingham.
Oh, maybe I can get a little knee scope while I'm there.
A little knee scope? Is that the place to go for a knee scope?
That's where I've been going for years.
You don't need your knee scoped again.
Well, you know, if I'm going to be in town, I might as well,
take
care of two
Clean
things
it up, huh?
Yeah.
Dane Lewis has actually been in the back picking up the first down for this club as they this time give it inside to the fullback, Calvin Mills. So now what Southern does is they pull their top backs out, bringing some fresh new backs.
Yeah.
And again, that's Pete Richardson's way of doing things.
Right, fresh meat, huh?
Keep them out there, keep them rolling. That's the best way to get experience, he'll tell you. Pete Richardson, who is, as I said, in his 7th season, coached at Winston-Salem State, won 41 games. He's won 80% of his games here at Southern. 60-15 coming in. He's won 5. Or he's been to the Heritage Bowl 5 times, won 4 of them.
Not bad.
Here's Lewis again. Boy, Dane Lewis is a completely different back than Ryan. Ryan is a little shorter scat back. This is a big guy right here.
He reminds me, the way he's running with the jumps and stuff, like Barry Sanders. Boy, do we miss him. I wonder if he's still over in Europe.
The Lions started out the season saying they didn't miss him.
Yeah, well.
Winning a couple of games, but you figured out to catch up to him, huh?
But he really has that running style where he's jumping and cutting in the air and slashing. I like that.
Well, he averages 4.7 yards a carry. Has scored 3 touchdowns this year. Talking about Dane Lewis from Columbia, Maryland, your stomping grounds.
Yeah.
3rd down now. About a minute left. Lewis again gives Southern a first down. And that is it, folks. Clock has stopped to move the sticks, but this one's just about over. Minute 4 left.
This is the way you do it. This is the way you finish a game. You know, you just pound the football. You pound the other team into submission. And what better way to do it than with a guy who's been sitting on the sideline the whole time.
Today's Black College Football Classic has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. And by AutoZone, the more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Nationwide, insurance, financial services on your side. George Johnson, Charles Mann, wrapping this thing up. And let me not forget Joe Claire, who's just been doing it all. There's a couple of folks that have really made this easy for us. Joe, you got something to say?
I'm one of them people who used to go to the game, and I went to a school where we didn't win a lot, so I knew when the game was pretty much over, and this game is pretty much over. So it's time for me to be on up out of here so I can beat the traffic. SU, all love to Southern University, and peace and love to y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time.
I don't get any peace, any love. Joe Claire is saying goodbye as we come to the end of the football game. And Pete Richardson gets yet another victory here at Southern, his 61st of his career as the head coach at Southern, as his club improves to 5-0 overall. And Hampton suffers its first loss. Hampton had won 15 straight on the road. That streak comes to an end as Southern gets it done. They win 21-6. For Charles Mann, this is George Johnson. I thank our statistician Eric Moore, Ed Hill also up here in the booth. Sports information directors, Count Conaway, Michael Jones, and all the folks that helped make this production possible. Once again, our final 21-6. Next time we see you, Alabama State and Alabama A&M going head-to-head on October 30th from Birmingham. Good night, everybody.